We're starting with an exclusive news break tonight. 2 months after the alleged rape of a young journalist by Tehelka chief Tarun Tejpal in Goa, another bombshell has just been dropped. It has come to light that the Goa crime branch officer leading the investigation, Sunita Sawant, has accused Tejpal of threatening and intimidating her. That's the fresh allegation against Tarun Tejpal, to which he has defended against in a letter that has been accessed exclusively by Headlines Today. In a handwritten letter to Sunita Sawant, the investigating officer in the rape case, Tejpal has said he is shocked and distressed to have discovered that she has stated in court during his bail hearing that she was threatened or intimidated by Tejpal. Stating that he has been fully cooperative throughout his custody, Tejpal has said in his letter that the allegation has reinforced his fear that he cannot expect an unprejudiced and fair investigation in Officer Sunita Sawant's hands. In a straight counter-attack, Tejpal has accused the investigating officer of using allegations of intimidation as a ploy to sabotage his chances of getting bail. On the 15th of January, a local court rejected Tejpal's bail petition. The Tehelka founder is currently in judicial custody for allegedly raping an employee at his magazine's Think Summit in November last year. He was arrested on the 30th of November in Goa, 2 weeks after the alleged crime, and he has also spent 10 days in Goa police custody being questioned by several officers in question with the crime. Rahul Kanwal, editor-at-large, is with us. He's breaking the story exclusively and first here on Headlines Today. Rahul, this is a second big allegation against Tarun Tejpal. You've got access to his letter where he says that the allegation against him by the investigating officer, not made directly but in court, was made to sabotage his bail hearing.
Well, these are very, very serious charges. The whole Tarun Tejpal sexual molestation case taking a very sinister turn here. We've exclusively accessed this letter in which Tarun Tejpal alleges that he's being framed, that the entire investigation is being carried out in a malafide manner, that facts are being twisted and misrepresented, and his comments are being aggravated, and what he's saying is completely being distorted before the court. This matter arose, Shiv, from an observation that was made by Sunita Sawant, the investigating officer at Donapala in Goa, where she suggests that she is being threatened and intimidated by Tarun Tejpal. She said this before the judge, and Tarun Tejpal is responding. We've exclusively accessed this letter. He calls these charges completely outrageous. He says that he never threatened the investigating officer. The charge being leveled by the Tejpals is that this investigating officer essentially is acting at the behest of the Goa government to try and fix Tarun Tejpal.
Yeah.
This is the BJP government, and the charge, the insinuation is, not the charge, the insinuation, Shiv, is that this is being done to fix the former editor-in-chief of Tehelka magazine. He says that over the last 10 days, while I've been in police custody, I have answered every single question. There is no line of inquiry that I have stonewalled, even though several of the questions that were asked were actually part of a fishing expedition. They had nothing to do with this case. You were highly vicarious in the questions that were being asked. And he says that this is not what I expected. This is not unprejudiced. This is not a fair investigation. And this is raising very serious questions. He quotes, and I want to just, he says, and I want to quote, Shiv,
Yes.
The fishing expedition, the selective gathering of material and witnesses is all of a piece, part of a process, not aimed at arriving at the truth of the alleged event, but at trying to indict me no matter what the facts. That's the charge Tarun Tejpal is now throwing at the investigating officer in this case.
Rahul, do we know the nature of the allegation? From the letter, it appears to be pretty obscure. But do we know precisely what Sunita Sawant said in court, to which Tarun Tejpal has responded to in this letter? Because the nature of the allegation appears to be that he used some rough words and, either intimidated or threatened her directly during questioning, which is an explosive charge.
Well, absolutely. That is what the investigating officer said before the judge, which is also part of what the judge has actually come out and said, and that's part of his bail order, which is why, it's part of court records, which is why it assumes such a important dimension of this case. Tarun Tejpal's family from the very first moment has believed that Goa is not a conducive place for them to get this case tried. They believe that the BJP government over there wants to bring down Tehelka, because they've done several anti-BJP stories, anti-NDA stories in the past. And this is a very, very serious charge. This is essentially an accusation by a celebrity accused who now says that he has no faith for all practical purposes in the woman who's pursuing the case. Now, we know for a fact that Sunita Sawant, the investigating officer in this case, is known to be a tough investigator. There are charges that her promotion to her next designation depends on the outcome of this case. That is really in the control of the Goa Chief Minister. So therefore, the charge that is being leveled is that she's trying to fix him. She, of course, completely denies this charge, the Goa government. I didn't have a chance to speak to Sunita. We do have a number, but we haven't been able to get through. But I did speak to people in the Goa administration. They're saying that this is completely bogus and that the investigating officer is a very renowned, very upright officer who's doing her job as honestly as she can, and Tarun Tejpal, because he has a strong case against him, because he realizes that because he realizes that he has no way out, therefore is leveling these charges. That's the Goa police's version on this.
Thanks, Rahul, for getting us this exclusive breaking story at the top of 10 tonight on India Reports. We're going to continue to track this story and try and get a reaction from the Goa administration, the crime branch, as well as the Goa police. Explosive charges against Tarun Tejpal that he has defended in that letter.